In this video, I would like to talk about the root chakra, and I will do it a little different than the other videos on this channel, where I wrote a script and then I read the script back while adding some things to it. Now I want to try to just sit down and see what comes up and what can I say about the root chakra. There is a lot of mystic talk we can do about it. I can speak in crazy terms, but I would like to keep it simple and rather focused on transcending and unblocking it and rather working with it than what it actually is. Because if you just go on Google and you write in what is root chakra, you will get a very basic information about the chakra. You will get like the name, the Sanskrit name, what it is, kinda what it does, and how to like heal it. But usually a lot of people try to heal the chakras by listening to the music or doing crystal work, and it doesn't do it necessarily. It's not what transcends it. You cannot sit down and listen to music, and that does not make you transcend the chakra or work with it. It can calm down the energy. If you're feeling any discomfort in that part of your body and you listen to music, you can listen to any music that calms you down, and it can calm down the energies and make it easier for you to, maybe work with it. But the music itself, it does not do it. And there's many things that people think do it, but it's not that. So when it comes to root chakra, some basic things I can say about it is that the root chakra is it's the lowest chakra out of the traditional 7 of them. I would not say it's the lowest chakra, because there is many more in the body. There's many more points in the body, like energetical points. So from the traditional point of view of the 7 chakras, it is the lowest. It's at the base of the spine, and it is that gross level of consciousness. You can tell when people are on this level of consciousness or the level of the chakra, because in this one, where very huge majority of people are, and what is happening there is that the energy does not go above this. The Kundalini is asleep. You can say the consciousness is very low. Your awareness is operates like in very low levels. What do I mean by that is that such a huge part of your awareness, of your attention, is basically kept on the mind and on the illusion of the mind. So in this chakra, it is, you could say, like quote-unquote full unconsciousness. You are not unconscious in the way that you would be passed out or anything. You have enough awareness to know that you exist, that you are. You have enough awareness to basically see everything around yourself as it is now. In your experience, you are aware enough to confirm how your experience of life is now. Now, if you would increase that awareness, if you would go higher and beyond this, you would be more aware of the things which are happening inside of you. And sometimes with that comes insight. Sometimes insight makes you able to bring more awareness to yourself, because you start to understand why certain things happen, why you do them. Sometimes you don't need to understand it, and just being more aware of everything that is happening on the inside. When it comes to root chakra and people who are fully unconscious in this sense, not in the bodily sense, but fully unconscious of their true nature, of who they are, and they are lost in their belief and identity with the mind-created entity. I am John, I am this, I am that they are unable to be conscious of many things. That's why a lot of stuff is subconscious, some things are unconscious. There is a lot of terms for it, but simply what it means is you cannot see things how they are because your mind twists them. That is it. That's the easiest explanation I can give. You do not see things for what they are, for what they really are, because your mind and its conditioning twist it. Now, root chakra and people who are in that unconscious, I said it's an animalistic side because in this level of energies, on this level of consciousness, is very attached and makes their life about, or is suffering with very basic things, which are survival. So main care is for food, sleep, and reproduction for sex. There is a lot of instability and like the lowest expressions of emotions, which are like greed, jealousy, lust, and so on. So on this level, if you see people being very ignorant and refusing for any improvement in their life, and they're very focused on just money, sex, and possessions, it is not that you are not to be focused on them or that we are discarding these things. Focus on it or care for it. But it is when they make it unconsciously the highest thing in their life, or they very much suffer with it. It is all that is there for them. It's to get more money, it's to have sex, it's to count every penny, and it is those fears that come with it, okay? It is that dysfunction of those things. So it is not to discard them or to not have them in your life. That would be absurd, because that is the human experience, to have those things. But when it comes to the money, the possessions, it is when people are so attached, they're scared. In the back you have that fear, like and you need more money. You have enough, and but more could be nice, and more, and then of course it would be nice, but then you suffer it. Then you suffer it and you think about it and you cannot get it out of you. And it's the same with the sex. You just cannot help yourself. There is so many lustful or greedy, and you catch jealousy in yourself. It's easier to see in others than in yourself, a lot of things. But that is why you are here, and to transcend these things. Or maybe that's one of the reasons you started this whole journey, or it doesn't have to be a reason, but as you go on this, there will be things like these that you start seeing in yourself more, and that is what it means to have more awareness. And then honesty can come in, and you can be honest with yourself and see, yes, this is something that is in me, and then you have the choice to go beyond it. So when it comes to the root chakra, it is these expressions. It can be these expressions. I believe it can be many more. For everyone it expresses differently, but usually it's very possession, materialistic, ignorant, unconscious expressions. We are still talking about the lowest chakra, and very good news is that for you on this point there is only up to go, and there is many ways to transcend this. I talked about the 4 branches of yoga, the 4 main branches of yoga, being Bhakti, Gnana, Karma, and Kriya. All of them can work here, but if you are on this by yourself, which you are, then you see many people suggesting that you do it the way of Kriya, which is by having some kind of a practice. where you can just every day do the practice, and then you will see how much it will help you. Because, as I said, the root chakra being blocked by ignorance and not even wanting to change, just you watching this video and wanting to change, or not change, rather transcend all of these things within yourself and be a more authentic being, just that is already waking up something inside of you. Just doing this, you will come to find that being in an open state like this, being ready and willing, is doing so much and brings so much into your life. Life will go and really walk towards you when you become willing and surrender a lot of things. The way of surrender and willingness and just openness of yourself to, yes, this is what I want, and I am willing to face things within myself in order to find the truth and in order to go beyond the way I am now, to experience life in a completely different light, in more aliveness, and to come to the highest, to my highest self, and reach the potential of what it means to be human. Just having something like this, just this attitude alone, and really being like, yes, the trust is the way of Bhakti. And just having that attitude does so much. Then when it comes to Kriya, having this attitude in the back while you do your practices is gonna make it way different for you. And if you really cannot do it and have this kind of willingness and openness because of fear and, anxiety and any kind of resistance, then you can just go with the practice. And the practice itself will help a lot. Now, when it comes to the practices, I did a video about death, which can be very triggering if you are starting like this, but it is something that is a very good thing to become conscious of, and that is your own mortality. It's not for everyone. If you're a person who's like, oh, let's go, and just is ready to fight, then that one can be very helpful way of looking at things, and it can be a really good practice, as I talk about it in that video. If you have difficulties with this, then the way of the just willingness and giving that trust into life or God or the universe does a lot. So I suggest you sit down, you listen to some nice music, and your practice can be very simple. You just sit down, get comfortable, wear loose clothes, take a shower before it. It can be very helpful to take a shower. It makes you more alert. But you have to take a shower that is room temperature or maybe a little colder. It doesn't have to be crazy. You just make sure to wet yourself, starting from the head down, okay? Start with your head, wet your head first, and then just wash your whole body, just with the water or with the soap, whatever you want. It doesn't matter, just take the shower, it's gonna be nice. Then you sit down, get comfortable, and you can do many things, and later on you can just come up with your own practice where you would do like pranayama, maybe some asanas, or just sit and just focus on your breath, which is a very ancient way of meditating. It's been all around forever. Or you can search up some videos about it, do some research. But what happened for me, what was the practice that you could say awakened the Kundalini for me, is from Isha, because I used to watch Sadhguru a lot on YouTube, and it was, you sit in a cross-legged posture, okay? You can try it now. So you sit down, either on the mat or on the floor, or I believe you can also do it while sitting in your chair. So you don't have to hop off And if you did, then I'm sorry, but just get comfortable, do a cross-legged posture, open up your hands, make a flat palm facing upward, and put them on your thighs. Okay? As if you see people meditating everywhere, you just do that posture, but with open palms facing upward. Then you look slightly up, you tilt your head slightly up and focus between your eyebrows. And then, I do not know now if it's inhale or exhale, I will put the video in the description, and I made a community post about it also. But I will say, on the inhale you say, I am not this body. And on the exhale you say, I am not even this mind. And this is the practice. You just think, I am not this body, I am not even this mind. I am not this body, I am not even this mind. And if you want some narration or some help, I think that video is good for that. You can do it in silence, you can do it yourself, but that is the whole practice. Then after like 5 minutes of doing this, or maybe 10 minutes, you just sit there with keeping your focus between your eyebrows and you do nothing. Okay? You just relax. And that's where this attitude of just the willingness and just relaxation is very important. Now, last important thing that I would like to mention is the experience. Many people, and you will hear and see, many people have different experiences, different spiritual experiences. It doesn't have to be the Kundalini awakening experience. You should not care for it. You should not care for the experience. Because everyone has a different conditioning. You will see people being like, oh, Kundalini awakening, I went fucking psychotic. Or I went, like, everything hurt, it was painful. Some people go, it was amazing. Everyone experiences it differently, but it is their experience, is their reaction to that experience. What I mean by it, you might be sitting and something starts happening. Do not fear it. That's why I said it's so good if you do the meditations on death. It's about you having less fear. It's different if you have a person who will sit here and do some practice and they will start feeling some sensations, some energy movement, and they are extremely attached and scared for their body. You can have someone who has a trauma of having a heart attack and they feel the energy happening in their chest. They will, in their head, if they start freaking out and they start thinking they're dying, that experience is gonna turn so painful and so bad because they become very resistant and they start fighting it. So you are making a practice to transcend something, but when a change starts to happen and something good comes, but it feels maybe like something you never felt before, and you freak out and you start being scared and you're like, what is happening? Nothing is happening. It's just a feeling. It came from somewhere, it will go again. It doesn't even have to hurt, and people already make it hurt. It doesn't have to even be painful. And I can speak from experience, because when my Kundalini, you could say, when I do not know what was it, but when there was the first initial change or the first experience that was happening in this body for me, it felt full on, like I'm about to leave my body. Like the soul is leaving the body. Like the body is just gonna be left for dead and I'm doing something like... And the mind came with so many scenarios. Oh no, now. What if? What now? What if? That what if made it so difficult to let that feeling just wash over me and then be okay. That what if believed into completely made me resist. So what I did is I fought it. I fought that feeling somehow, and I basically resisted it so hard that it stopped happening, and only thing that was left was a huge dizziness. And then I walked outside, I sat outside at night in the grass and everything was spinning, shaking. I was nauseous and it was just so like it was horrible. But the only reason it was horrible is because I was scared. I didn't know what would happen and I was so scared, and what if, So that's why it's important to cultivate your mind to such a level that you do not get scared. Because what is there to be scared of? Then after that, I thought that experience that happened, maybe I should have let it happen. Maybe I should have let those feelings of something leaving just happen. Because it truly felt like I am gonna leave that body. And I just sat back. I did it for some more time. I did my practices. I did all of my meditations. And a week later, the same experience came in. And the same thoughts happened again. The same experience, same thoughts. What if? And it is that not knowing which is scary. You are not scared of anything. You are just scared of unknown. So I remember letting go. And even though those thoughts were there, I just leaned into it. And as I leaned into it, it was able to just happen. Because there I did not resist anymore. And I knew that if I resist again, I will sit outside, spinning my head and being like, oh, wow, and just running away. Stop running away, and if something like this happens, just relax and trust. That is where the surrender and the trust is important. That attitude will make you go a long way ahead, rather than just the practice itself. You can practice all you want, but every time something important is about to happen, you will run away, unless you are ready to and willing. That's why I say it's important before the practice. So then it just happened, and then such a good feeling washed over me. And it was done. There was a change, and an experience of my life was a big change. It wasn't anything significant, extremely, but it was like a first step. It was like coming out of a shelf. And the experience of my life changed slightly, or maybe a lot. I cannot tell. I do not remember exactly anymore, but I remember a lot of things have changed. So as I said, you can go only up from here. And you can do it. And there's nothing you have to fear. Because there's gonna be a time when, in order to grow and truly mature, you will have to become absolutely okay and unafraid of any situation and any emotion, sensation, energy or feeling. But that is on a different state of maturity. Now you start with this, and I promise you that something great is gonna happen. And just the fact that you're watching this is enough to prove that you have that willingness and that desire to go beyond yourself, basically. And I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And I see no reason why you could not do it, why you could not become your highest self. Good. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.